The reasoning for YNW Melly to commit the crime against Juvy and Sakchaser is gonna surprise you, as even YNW Juvy's father says he was surprised and he immediately believed that YNW Melly was guilty ever since the beginning.
But it's my understanding you believed from the very beginning that Melly was responsible for your son's.
From the day one, I believed that Melly was responsible for my son on October 26th when I first heard the story, because his explanation, when I finally talked to him and Cortland on a FaceTime, their response and how they was reacting, they showed no remorse. They didn't act like they was grieving, like they lost a best friend or nothing. They was, in my opinion, they was in the best spirits. They never came to town, never came to my son's funeral.
Even recently, an interview from one of King Von's best friends named Jay Hood, who would reveal a secret that YNW Melly told King Von about the passings of Juvy and Sakchaser.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, you know, when people could say something without saying it. And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
Explaining that Juvy and Sakchaser were after YNW Melly for financial gain. However, what is the actual truth? Was it actually for financial gain? Or was it that YNW Sakchaser was doing things with YNW Melly's girlfriend behind his back? To figure all of this out, we need to look back at October 26, 2018, when the four YNW members, being Melly, Sakchaser, Juvy, and Bortlen, were all four leaving the recording studio, hopping into their Jeep to head home. Little did the world know this would be the last footage of Juvy and Sakchaser that was ever recorded. As in YNW Bortlen's interrogation with the police on the night of the crime, he would detail the first moments inside of that vehicle once they left the recording studio.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car.
Hey, well, Ashley,
and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75.
As YNW Bortlen is being interviewed for bringing Sakchaser and Juvy to the hospital randomly on that night, as the police are wondering how this incident even occurred. With YNW Bortlen trying to explain to the officers what happened, it was very clear to the officers that YNW Bortlen was making a lie and a huge story that didn't add up to anything. However, it's important to hear Bortlen's story to line it up to the trial evidence that I'll be sharing later. Bortlen is trying to stay confident about his story, and he's trying to make it seem realistic. However, he would just get caught in his lie.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area and we had the officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's like...
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my... Like,
these your two, I'm assuming close friends.
Yeah, we got...
And you're doing them an inservice by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't, like, what do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
As YNW Bortlen remains to be sticking to his original story. He's sticking to the script of the streets, which is you never snitch and you never work with the feds. The officers would just start to get annoyed by YNW Bortlen until an officer would ask him this.
Let's talk about why. Are you having issues with anyone?
I mean, we are upcoming artists and stuff, so people like, you know, when you like start doing better than people, they start hating and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So you had some jealousy issues.
Yeah, it's like jealousy issues. But goddamn, I haven't really been on there. But like he like my friend that's way now, God bless. He was telling me like, right. He always telling me right how people just like today. He was telling me some folks from up our way.
What's up your way?
Like Vero
Beach?
Area, like that's where I used to stay. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up there. So. That's our hometown, you know what I'm saying?
So what did your friend say about from Vero Beach? What was he saying to you?
He was saying basically just like they were on like Instagram, Facebook, like.
The officers were unaware of a YNW group, and they didn't even know it was a music label with artists in the area. With them now knowing this information, it seemed as if there was a chance that YNW Bortlen was telling the truth. However, the interrogation would go completely south, as YNW Bortlen began getting angry at the officers as they are not fully believing his story about the crime.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even talk about it no more. Like, cause I told y'all, like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
Commonly, when the criminal in the interrogation hits this point of the interview, where he is refusing to talk and not even wanting to discuss more, it is then the officer's job to reset the entire playing field. The goal is to continue asking questions, hoping either the criminal will mix up his story and share different details than what he originally said, or that he will accidentally say too much. The officer then resets the conversation. The police officer would then want more details of the in-the-moment actions made during the drive-by. How was YNW Bortlen driving? Did he crash into anything? Or did he see any faces?
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
With only 15 minutes remaining in their allowed interrogation time, the officer would just flat out ask him, if you know who did this crime, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS. Okay, and a simple question: if you knew who did this, okay, you may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly, the truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I wouldn't want to be.
As YNW Bortlen does not give a firm yes or no answer using his voice, and instead he shakes his head no. This is because if it was YNW Melly who did this crime, he would know that. So saying no to the officer using his voice could have caused his voice to come out at a different volume than what he's been using throughout the interrogation, which would be due to him lying. This would then be an obvious indicator to police that Bortlen knows a lot more than what he's sharing. However, the police already had a hunch that it was all a lie, and they already knew the truth. As indicated earlier in the interrogation, there was no signs of broken glass, casings, or anything in the area Bortlen claimed it occurred at, as this would be later proven as a fact, as during the YNW Melly trial, it was shared the Jeep they were driving in didn't look like a regular vehicle that has gone through a drive-by. Sergeant Williams would reveal after investigating the car, there is no way this could have been a drive-by.
My determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. The at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here. The actually moving in that to create the little bit of a that you see there.
How many rounds were inside of the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas as coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that was Christopher Thomas, where did that emanate from?
Driver's side back seat.
Okay. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.
So if YNW Bortlen was lying about what happened, what actually did happen? Trial evidence from this man named Trayvon Glass would tell a completely different story than YNW Bortlen. Trayvon was at the recording studio, however, he went home in the red van that was parked beside YNW Melly's Jeep. According to Trayvon, the plan was for them to meet back at fellow rapper Fredo Bang's house after the recording studio. The red vehicle arrived at Fredo's, however, YNW Melly's vehicle never showed up. The record would show that only Bortlen took Sakchaser and Juvy to the hospital after the incident went down, as the prosecutors covered that Melly ended up calling Fredo Bang to pick him up off of the side of the road after the incident.
So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens then, about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters.
With YNW Melly arriving at Fredo's house, Trayvon noticed that Melly had changed his clothing from when he left the recording studio, as we heard during the trial.
Was that the first time you saw Melly after you guys left the studio?
Yeah.
Was Melly wearing the same clothes or different clothes than when you saw him at the studio?
Wasn't wearing the same clothes.
Okay, do you recall what he was wearing?
Just had on some shorts.
As this without a doubt made YNW Melly look extremely guilty to the jury. Even moments later in court, the prosecutors would then share text messages from YNW Melly's cell phone where he would admit to doing the crime.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time, the YNW Melly account says what?
After that,
to even a new video found on YNW Melly's phone recently where he states he has no regrets for what he did.
No regrets for the shit I did. That also means for the yeah, 4:30 a.m. Never say when.